It is a busy world, but also a lonely one, according to new research out of BYU. And that loneliness not only hurts your heart, it hurts your health. Studio 5 contributor Dr. Matt Townsend is here with the takeaways. This is interesting stuff.
This is huge. This is way cool.
Set up the research for us.
So out of Brigham Young University, two researchers, Dr. Timothy Smith, Julianne Holt-Lunstead, they did a huge review of data. There's already been a lot of research on loneliness. They viewed 3.5 million different participants in the data set. It's one of the biggest data sets you'll have. Guess what they found out?
What?
We know obesity decreases longevity of life.
Right.
We know smoking, 15 cigarettes, decreases longevity of life a day. Did you know that being lonely, feeling lonely, or just being socially isolated is the equivalent of obesity and smoking cigarettes?
You are kidding me.
To your lifespan. It takes 5 years off your lifespan.
Your physical health is impacted.
It doesn't even matter if you feel lonely. You may not feel like I love being alone. But if I spent the rest of my life being alone, it would take 5 years off my life.
So is it fair to say, I know the word epidemic is being thrown out as we talk about this subject of loneliness. Is it really an epidemic?
They believe there's a big problem. We've got all these baby boomers that are aging, where you have a lot of people that are going to live a lot longer than maybe their spouses, and they're going to fall into loneliness. And by falling into loneliness, they're actually going to be decreasing. It's just like all these baby boomers are going to start smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
As if
it's going to impact their lives. Sweden right now has 55% of the population of Sweden live alone in their homes. 55%. And so the deal is we are animals, social animals, that are wired to be social. And it's not good for us to be alone.
Right.
We need to be with each other for a variety of reasons. Our immunity drops because we're not sharing germs, sadly. Our willingness to go get help drops when we don't have people around saying, that looks swollen. Not to point at your belly, sorry. That was totally wrong. I was pointing at your wrist. I wasn't pointing at your belly, but it does look swollen.
It better be something.
But so you need to go have that checked. That is horrible. Oh, that is the rudest thing I've ever done. Anyway, so we've got to watch out for that, right? That's just funny, though.
All right.
Anyway, but so obviously you're not lonely.
No.
So here's the deal. When we... Okay, keep it going, because here's the deal. There's just certain things we got to do. We got to take care of each other. It is an epidemic.
Yes.
And so think of just the cute little old lady in your neighborhood that doesn't have somebody there to talk, doesn't have somebody to hug on her. We got to worry about that lady.
All right, let's get into some cures, because I can't look at you. I'm going to still burst out laughing. You say to turn around the epidemic, to curb the loneliness, the first thing we need to do is make connections a priority in our lives.
Because a lot of times, like personally for me, I want to be alone. Like right now, I don't know what it is. I just want to leave and be alone in my car.
But those daily connections have to be happening.
And if you don't make it a priority, which is scheduling it, for example, a lot of us are like, I'm too busy to go do something. I'm too busy to be with my family. You already know next week you need to be with your family. You already know the next week you need to be with your family. So get all of these things in your schedule a month down the road, 2 months down the road. Now everything's in. Let's make sure grandma's coming over for dinner once a week. Let's make sure the neighbor that's coming over. Do you remember I always talk about my 99-and-a-half-year-old neighbor?
Yes.
The friend? He passed away.
I saw that.
But you know what? Honestly, it's so beautiful, because he's now home with his wife, which was his #1 complaint.
Right.
And so, but just the joy of visiting him and walking in when he'd see us, he would light up. If I had known what that was doing, by the way, why he reached almost 100 years is because he had so many people around him. I truly believe that.
Well, let me ask you this. Outside of our family or those more intimate relationships, do our lost and broken and forgotten about relationships play a role too?
So take those relationships that have been broken, go mend them. Go work on those ones that you lost, the person that you ticked off. Go figure that out. Go find the long-lost friend and reconnect to them. You used to have great contact with them, maybe when you were in high school or in your 40s or whatever, when you were at the park with your kids. Go back and find those people. Facebook will enable that. Get them back into your life and start connecting with them, maybe doing lunches, do whatever you can.
And I love the challenge to take those existing relationships a little bit deeper, so with your husband or your kids.
So instead of just like, how's your day? Seriously, let's start connecting in. Let's start figuring out. Let's start getting real. And go show your spouse, we need to talk more. We need to connect at a deeper level, or literally, we're going to lose each other 5 years earlier.
building social and emotional skills, you say, will help maybe prevent this loneliness down the road.
A lot of us don't have the skills, so we just don't like to be with people because we're not very good at it, and so we don't go to the parties, and we don't go to the funerals, and we don't go to the church, and we don't do the things that we could do. So gather the skills. If you're worried about it, if you have anxiety, if you're a little bit of an introvert, gather some skills so you can make some rules for how you're going to go about pushing yourself into social situations, meet some friends, and then find ways to make it safer for yourself.
And this research, interestingly enough, really shines a positive light on people who are passionate and who are sharing those passions with other people.
The cool thing is there's a lot of groups right now. You can go on the web, on certain websites, and find places and groups to go meet people with like passions. Go share your passion. If you're really good at quilting, get out and share your quilts. If you're really good at making some incredible strawberry, what's it called, angel food cake,
yes.
Go share it, Becky. Share it with the people like me.
Becky, I think that's an invitation. I think that's
See
a
how I
request.
worked that in?
That was very good.
Cool.
And finally, good listeners are less lonely than other people.
Totally, because what a great skill, especially if you have people that like to talk.
I'm looking at one.
Too much, in fact. But so just ask one person a question and then get them talking, and they'll go forever, like I just did. And again, no offense.
No offense taken.
But I had no idea you were expecting.
Yes, you did.
Oh my
you
gosh!
Better have.
I walk in, I'm like,
Stop
there it is.
He's lying. I think it's the first time I've seen you lose it laughing.
That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. All right, thank you so much. Good stuff. If you want to read more on this research or learn more about Matt Townsend and his fabulous relationship coaching services, you can go to the link on our website, studio5.ksl.com. Well, switch.